Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Instant Replay. I'm your host, Dave Garner, and don't adjust your TV set. Yes, I've got a pink shirt on this morning. As promised last week, our very own Luther Kinsey behind the glass this morning. He'll be out here a little bit later on. Luther was out here last week with a pink shirt. I said this week I would show up in pink, and so here I am. It is October. A lot of our focus, of course, is on a lot of causes right now, but especially breast cancer awareness and cancer in general. You're seeing a lot of that stuff around the country, and so doing my part this morning, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but we do welcome you to us right here on this Monday, October the 8th, 2018, show number 22 for the Instant Replay. We've been at it almost half a year, so it's been going on a while, and we appreciate you guys being with us. As always, our phone number is 706-889-9700, and our email, as always, teamfynsports@FetcherNews.com. We want to hear from you. Again, a local hour of sports talk right here, the only online North Georgia weekly sports talk program. We appreciate you guys being with us this morning. And wow, what a just a lot of things going on. We've got an action-packed hour as always. But first, let's go behind the glass. Luther and Josh. And Josh, you were at that epic showdown Sunday night, the Atlanta Braves NLDS going at it, trying to avoid elimination, and we get one on our home soil, and you didn't get home till really late.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting game. You know, we were a little worried about having to watch the Dodgers celebrate on our home field, but glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the game didn't end until late, obviously. Vizcaino, a gutsy effort in the ninth inning. You know, first two guys get on in a one-run game, and then he's finally able to shut the door with a two in scoring position. There's the Braves win 6-5 in Game 3. Hopefully they can keep the momentum going and maybe at least get another one. At least send it back to L.A. I mean, I obviously coming into this series, you got to feel like the Dodgers probably are the better team just based on what they've been able to do in the whole body of work. But very happy that at least we got one. That was my main goal as a fan. I know that's not striving high, but to get one in that situation, I think was at least we got that. You know, Acuna hit the big grand slam there. Luther, did you stay up that late?
I stayed up that late working. Hey, remember?
Did you hear that? Working. Excuse me, guys. I was working.
Working.
You know.
Hey, remember? I do have a show to help produce on Monday morning. You know.
That's right.
No, actually, you know, I'm cheap. I don't have the cable package that includes all these fancy shows.
Right.
Fancy channels, rather. I have not watched a single NLDS, ALDS, right, any postseason baseball at all.
Yeah.
This league. In all honesty, I really don't have those channels, but have been working a lot, trying to stay caught up. We got basketball around the corner. Football is, you know, killing it right now, and volleyball's winding up. Softball, you know, is moving on to state. I'm just trying to stay busy and track and see what I can do to make sure we have a good show. So
absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. You know more than ever. And basketball schedules, by the way, have been released. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the show as far as high school basketball is concerned. And Luther will be out here a little bit later on in the show as we break down this week's high school football matchups. We'll touch on some softball and volleyball as well as the region tournaments and state tournaments crank up. Let's talk some college football real quick. Troy over Georgia State over the weekend. Georgia Southern, had to throw this one out there too because I know Josh is a big Eagle fan there. But Georgia Southern over South Alabama 48-13. They will be at Texas State on the 11th on Thursday night on ESPNU. Georgia big over Vandy as we know, and now that big showdown for the Bulldogs against LSU looming, although the Tigers they may have been looking ahead a little bit on Saturday as they fell in the swamp down in Gainesville. Georgia Tech over Louisville last Friday night. Louisville 66-31. Tech will host Duke, and Reinhardt over Point. I believe it was homecoming for the Eagles this past weekend, and Reinhardt just down the road getting another win as they maintain their top 10 status. And how about the Berry Vikings, D3, also ranked inside the top 15 in the national rankings, and they defeat Swanee on Mountain Day over in Rome, over in Mount Berry, Georgia, 44-3. And now the Vikings will head to Arkansas this weekend for a matchup at conference opponent Hendrix. And that is a look at some of the college football headlines from the weekend. If we have time, we'll touch on these games a little bit more, especially that big Georgia-LSU matchup, because that is going to be a fun one, no doubt. Follow us on Friday nights right here on Twitter, our team, FYN Sports on Twitter. We have live updates of the ball games. And as we transition in to high school football, a lot of big games going on Friday night. Everyone basically into region play. Let's run down the slate real quick, get a couple comments, and then we've got BKP coming in segment 2 to talk about our team FYN Sports game of the week. GAC over Dawson on Friday night. The Tigers suffered their first loss, but played a very good Greater Atlanta Christian team right down to the wire. 23-20. The final of that one is a heartbreaking loss for the Tigers, but I think it shows how far they've come as a program to be able to play a team like GAC to a 3-point ball game. Southeast Whitfield over Gilmer, 42-14. The Bobcats put up a couple scores on Friday night, but still fell short there. Ringgold over Murray County, 49-7. The Indian struggles continue. North Murray, though, over Cahola Creek, 35-14. I tell you what, those Mountaineers having a great year over in North Murray. Fannin, big over East Hall. A lot of points in this ball game. 59 points for the Rebels as they beat East Hall 59-36. Well, how about Lumpkin, 42-19 over Cherokee Bluff. Union and White were off this past week, as well as Murphy in North Carolina. And our team FYN Sports game of the week, Pickens all over Heritage, 48-0. A big region win as the Dragons remain unbeaten, now a perfect 7-0. We'll hear more from BKP here in just a few minutes in segment 2. But Luther, your impression of Friday night, what stuck out to you of all the ball games we've just ran down? Obviously, that GAC Dawson game was a big one in that region. Pickens, of course, remaining unbeaten. A lot of headlines Friday night.
There definitely was. Pickens' defense showed up, as BKP will talk about. And that's been the big question for them all year, because their offense has just been so dominating. But I'm not going to step on his coattail there and hold him back. I'll hold that one for him. But the GAC Dawson game, GAC, if you're not familiar with them around here, and our viewing audience is not, Greater Atlanta Christian has a lot of D1 athletes that have came from there. A lot of NFL players, family plays there. So, the quality of athlete at that school is amazing. They've been a powerhouse for many years. And for Dawson, which, it's a small mountain school, they're playing in the division, have the same amount of students, but you don't have the athletes to pick from there that you do at GAC.
Not the ability to recruit, certainly, like some of the private schools.
Right. Definitely. Private school, you can live anywhere and go there, pretty much at ease, where public school, it's a little tougher with the Georgia high school mandates and things like that, as far as having to live in the county or, get an approval for an outside student to come in through hardship or something to that effect.
Right.
So that game, 23-20, I caught some highlights the other night on the news. Dawson County played very well. Very well. That game could have easily, been a lot wider spread in the victory there, but Dawson played very well, and Coach Maxwell's got his guys. They're still firing. You can't take this loss and worry about anything. For Dawson.
Yeah. And how about 59 points from Fannin too on Friday night?
Well, I'll tell you now, East Hall has got a tough team.
Yeah.
They have got a tough, strong team. I'm from Gainesville originally. They do have a new coach this year, so they are down a little bit in getting everybody on board. But those athletes over there are tough, and defense is pretty good. But then again, new coach at Fannin, Coach Chad Cheatham. Talked on our coaches show with him last week. He broke down the film on him, and obviously he broke it down right.
Right.
Holloway, sophomore quarterback. I haven't been able to catch any updates on it, whether it's running or passing, but I'm sure it's a combination of both. Holloway's got a great arm. He's got some great receivers. A couple of those guys, Chandler Kendall, first year playing. He says, I've got to get my routes and I've got to, make them sharper where I can get open. Obviously,
right.
I got a strong feeling that he did.
Yeah.
So that one sticks out as very well. I can't wait to the coaches show on Wednesday night to talk to Coach Cheatham and listen to what he has to say. Well, BKP will be talking to him, but it's going to be awesome.
It'll be a lot of fun, yeah.
BKP had them for the game of the week last week, and he did 2 weeks ago now, 2 Fridays, and he did the Cheatham Spasms, where he showed just the highlight video of him dancing around and the way he jumps and all that. I would really like to have seen one from Friday night's game.
Right, yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. And all those coaches shows, by the way, this week, we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Of course, Monday night is Panther Talk, a Union County show at 6:30 on Facebook Live. And then, of course, Tuesday night it's Dragon Talk with Pickens coach Chris Parker. Wednesday night is Bobcat Turf Talk with Coach Wingard. And, I get that backwards. Wednesday night's Fannin County Talk with Cheatham, and then of course Thursday night is Bobcat Turf Talk with Coach Wingard. So a full slate of programming right here with Team FYN Sports. We appreciate you guys being with us. We're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout. When we return, BKP in studio breaking down our Team FYN Sports game of the week. That more straight ahead. Stay with us.
You're going to remember this September because the model year-end savings are huge at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save over $6,000 off new 2018 Chevy Equinox, or save over $12,500 off new 2018 Silverado Crew Cab LT. Days has model year-end discounts on every Chevy, so the time to buy is now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: LJ, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
Back here in studio now with BKP as we continue with this week's edition of the Instant Replay. And as always, Team FYN Sports is highlighting and promoting young athletes in a positive way, and that's what we're doing right here. And speaking of highlighting and promoting those Pickens Dragons here in segment 2, and what a win for Coach Chris Parker and his gang on Friday night as part of the Team FYN Sports Game of the Week. The Dragons win at 48-0 over a Heritage team that has traditionally given the Dragons fits over the years, including last year.
Last 2 years.
Yeah.
They lost last 2 years. I have to make this quick. I have to do it like the guy who used to sell the micro machines on the little cars, because I have to save room. I apologize last couple of weeks. I got to save room for the track and field, softball, and I want to leave plenty of room for Braves fans out there if they get to talking, okay? Josh, do me a favor. Pull up, I'm going to go, I don't have my glasses, I'll be able to see it. Pull up the picture of Parker. I sent you 4 pictures, okay? Pull up the picture of Parker, if you could, the one that I have there. There's Coach Parker, if you can see it at home. The headset's up, smiling from ear to ear, so we'll throw that out. I put it on our at Team FYN Sports, tweeted it out this morning, and I put Parker Time, hashtag Parker Time. That's one happy coach right there. Give me a couple more of the pictures. I'm going to run through them here really quick, and I'll tell you where I want to stop. I can't see. Is that 4 linemen or not? That's not 4 linemen. Go to the next one. Just I'm highlighting defense. That's another one. Highlighting the defense, and I'll tell you why. Right there. Is that 4 linemen? I can't see from there. Is that 4 linemen?
It looks like my eyes are terrible.
Oh, so this is. Wait a minute.
It's the blind leading the blind right here, man. My eyes are just
as bad as yours.
But
show me the picture where 4 defensive linemen are coming in the front. The defensive 4 is coming in, and they're locked up. I can't see it here. I didn't know. There it is.
Yeah,
is that
there we
it?
go. I think that's it right
Folks,
there.
if you could see that at home, that was all night long the Pickens defense. It's a beautiful picture. I love it, because that just tells you all night long that Pickens Dragons defense, they, on the snap, they were bringing 11 hats to the ball. And that's what I want to say with the 48. Now, I said last week, and I know you understand, I talked to Coach after the game, I needed to see their defense. And what I needed to see is I needed to see the Dragons. They were 6-0, now 7-0, okay? I needed to see the Dragons defense have to get called on. Right, really have to get called on. I mean, Dragons, the other night, Heritage they didn't kick off, right? Because they didn't kick off, so I didn't see big, long drives from the Dragons offense like we're used to.
Right.
All right. I'm going to say I could be wrong for you Dragons fans, I'm going to say close to every 48 points on the scoreboard the other night came off of defensive play. 3 and out. Hey, Heritage had to punt, 2 interceptions, 4 and out, fumble, you name it, forced all night long, and the Dragons offense responded. But I got to give the big shout out to the defense.
Right.
Because it's this time in the region that you're looking at, where are they going to stack up? Now, next week is Northwest Whitfield. They're a good team. But Ridgeland down the road, where are they going to stack up when they need a defense?
Right.
And that's the team.
I think people have already kind of circled that game. Obviously, the team's not looking ahead, but I think a lot of folks like you and I have definitely circled that one. Yeah.
Let me have, first of all, my 2 defensive players. Let's go through our interviews real quick Friday night. Just get a chance. I wanted to find 2 defensive players. So let's do that interview. Let's play that for those at home.
Oh, they're saying they don't see that one.
Well, there's 2 guys on the list there. There's 2 there on the list. So let's go to Coach Parker's interview then. Coach Chris Parker, head coach of Pickens Dragons. Congratulations, Coach. 7-0, 3-0 in the region. You just talked to these guys about 8-0 and what it means to bring it next week. Let's talk about this one first. I said I needed to see the defense on this one. We saw the defense.
Yeah, we shut them out, play well. It's a good football team, Brian. A lot of people wouldn't maybe know about it. We've played a lot of games that have been big scores this year, but that's a good football team. We kind of got on them early, made a few key plays, got ahead, and you know they're going to probably make the playoffs. They're a quality team. The ball just bounced our way tonight. Kids played hard. Defense played well. They really did answer the call. I'm really proud of them. I've been proud of them all year. I'd have been proud of them if we'd lost, but I'm proud of them tonight. Great job.
I think I respect the entire team, and what I meant by that was throughout the season, all the way up to 6-0. There still was that team I was waiting to see where the defense would step up.
Right.
And after they did what they needed to do, the offense would respond. Happened all night long. Your offense, all the points on the board for the most part, are responses from the defense, correct?
I thought, last 2 years, they scored 48 on us in 2016 and 49 last year. It wasn't lost on our guys. We made sure they knew that all week. We haven't stopped them very well the last couple years, and had a good plan. Coach did a good job. Players did a good job executing the plan, and made a few plays. Ball bounced their way, and then it was total team football. Made a few key special teams plays. They faked the punt on us early. We stopped it. We were ready for it, and defense and offense both play well. Total team effort. Proud of the guys.
7-0 next week, Northwest Whitfield. You talk to these guys about how to turn 8-0. Tell us what you got to do next week, because you do have an off week as far as school.
Yeah, it's fall break. I told the guys, look, nobody cares if it's fall break. Northwest doesn't have fall break. We do. They're not going to put an asterisk by the score. We're not going to start with 7 less points or more points. Nobody cares. We're going to have to play next Friday night. Northwest beating us the last few years too. Always play us well coached. We have to come to play. I'm really excited tonight, Brian. Really proud of the guys. Probably as proud as I've been all year. Thought we executed, played well. It was a good football team over there, a well-coached team. I'm going to try. It's going to be hard, but I'm going to try to be excited about this for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then we're going to worry about Northwest Whitfield. It's just, that's how it is this time of year. You got to bring it every week. And excited to be 7-0, but we just want to be 1-0 next week.
Let me ask you one more thing, and I'll let you go, Coach. Sorry to hold you, but with the shutout, 48-0, you were able to get a lot of guys in the game. And as they came in the game, they responded. Nothing changed as far as the intensity. You had younger guys stepping up, making tackles, rushing the quarterback, everything. Right.
Yeah, proud of the guys. Total team effort. Our guys, we got a lot of good football players, and so everybody can't play all the time. So when we can get anybody out there, we tell them if they're out there, they need to compete. They only worry about the score. Our job to worry about the score. But yeah, I was proud of the young guys. They did a good job too.
Good win, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Okay, Josh, do me a favor so I can move this right along. Give me my 2 defensive plays. We found that tape. Give me my interview on defense there. I have Hunter Herman here with me and Trevon Dawkins, defensive players here on the Pickens Dragons. Hey, guys, talk about tonight. First of all, you needed this game, 3-0 in the region, and also, Heritage, you guys had trouble with them last year. So talk about how sweet this victory is.
This victory is kind of like the Pepperell victory we had early in the season. They beat us the past 2 years just like Pepperell, but we came out today, played strong, played with a little bit of anger, and that's how we got this win tonight.
I said at Team FYN Sports, I sent Coach a message that throughout the season, 6-0, some of the teams you played, I had not seen where the defense had to bring the game along. You know what I'm talking about? You guys made it happen tonight, and almost everything that happened on that scoreboard was a result of the defense. So tell me a little bit about how exciting that is and some of the things that happened out there on the field.
It was pretty exciting because we had everybody hustling, everybody trying to hit somebody, everybody wanted the ball, and everybody's just ready to play because they had some players talking smack, and they just had everybody fired up.
What about you guys had like every play 11 hats on the ball? It was like 11 hats to the ball. The intensity was high. Talk about some of the younger guys that stepped up later in the game, because the defense never slowed down. Tell me a little bit about these other guys that stepped in.
Earlier in the season, we put our younger defense in, and they'd allow a few points here and there. But tonight, you could tell they really stepped up with still shutting them out for this fourth quarter victory.
7-0, guys.
Yes, sir.
What are we going to do next week?
Be 8-0.
All right, congratulations, guys. Thanks a lot. Okay, I'm sorry, I drew a blank. Give me the 2 guys.
Hunter Herman, Trevon Hawkins. Yep.
Hunter Herman and Trevon Hawkins, they on defense. Now, this last interview with number 12, CJ Stryker, the quarterback, I went a little different here. I talked to the quarterback. You guys, Dragon fans, you know CJ, class act, solid athlete, had a big game. Himself, he had a big game. But I wanted him to talk about his defense and his offensive line. I said, hey, CJ, what I want you to do is I want you to talk about your defense and offensive line, because just being redundant, this defense brought it all night long, stopped Heritage. They could not throw the ball. They forced them into interceptions, turnovers, and could not run the ball, which always gave basically and who is the one guy, the receiver, number 13?
Zach Goss.
Yeah, Zach Goss. So you're going to have to highlight him, all right, tomorrow night.
Oh, trust me.
Oh, he had some really...
He's got a lot of camera time this year.
He had some sweet interceptions, not interceptions, receptions for touchdown. But anyhow, CJ Stryker here, I want him to talk about his defense and his offensive line, and that's what we talked about. Let's go ahead with that one so I can wrap up.
CJ Stryker, Pickens Dragons. CJ, tonight, a couple things. I know you're the quarterback, great game, but this offensive line, because as the quarterback, talk about these guys in front of you a little bit.
Yeah, the offensive line, they played their butts off tonight, you know. All week we've been talking about how Heritage is going to bring a lot of pressure every play, bring 5, 6 guys every play, and, you know, all my drop backs didn't feel a thing. You know, the line did a really good job of keeping them off me and letting me go through my progressions and hit my targets.
All right. I also want to talk about. I want you to comment on your teammates as far as the defensive side of the ball. I have been saying for several games there was coming the game being Heritage where the defense would have to step up. They made so many things happen tonight that resulted to the points on the scoreboard. Talk about how they brought the intensity and got the excitement going.
You know, we know we've got some players on defense. It's just been a matter of time before they really show what they're made of. And tonight, you know, they played real hard. You know, they came up with a couple big turnovers in our territory, and they just played good all game. They gave us easy possessions, good field position the whole game.
3-0 in the region, 7-0 overall. What's next week?
Northwest Whitfield.
And what is that? 7-0. What is next week?
8-0. Let's go, baby.
There you go. There you go. Way to go, CJ. Thank you a lot.
Hey, that's a great team, Dave. And I'll tell you what. Let me roll through this so I can get you guys back to Braves talk. Luther in here. Track and field, softball. All due respect. Pickens sitting on top 3-0. But here's the thing: they have never been 8-0. Never.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So last Friday night, Pickens went to 7-0. They've never been 8-0. They're going to travel over to Northwest. Should not be a real difficult game. Northwest beat Lafayette. But as everybody in the region's talking, Dave, Lafayette's not the same team.
Right.
As in the past.
They have been.
That's
exactly
true. Right.
That's
so just
true.
because they beat Lafayette. But anyhow, and they've got to match up the one more for the year, Ridgeland.
Yeah.
So they're 8-0. They can be 8-0. Never in Dragons history. Now, moving on, our game of the week this coming Friday night. What I did is later in the season when we got in the region, I played it by ear to where which one I might change it up. I have changed it up of what I did originally have scheduled, and that is based on the 3A Region 7. I want to give a big shout out to the FYN Rebels. Okay. Big shout out to you guys. You guys, I'm looking at region. I've been looking at it for years. And sorry, I just had it here a minute ago. There we go. 3A Region 7. And I got Greater Atlanta Christian 3-0, FYN 2-0, Dawson 2-1, North Hall 1-1. It's been a long time since FYN had 2 wins in the region. And just for that, because FYN has to play Lumpkin. They've won against Cherokee Bluff. Mm-hmm. They won against East Hall the other night, big.
Right.
Okay, and Lumpkin is the one they have to have now.
Right.
All right. So I've decided I'm going over our game of the week. This Friday night is Greater Atlanta Christian at Lumpkin. The Lumpkin County varsity team has a home conference game. So GAC Lumpkin is our game of the week because I want to watch what Lumpkin does because FYN, like I said, FYN is 2-0 in the region. And FYN's going over to North Hall. It's going to be a tough game there.
Right.
Because we've talked about those 3 spots.
Sure.
I heard you talk about it earlier. Greater Atlanta Christian just 3 up on Dawson.
Yep.
So that between Dawson, Greater Atlanta Christian, and North Hall. But they need that win. FYN needs that win against Lumpkin. I want to see how they do against GAC. So I can keep an eye on that region. So I've changed that up. And
again, I can't wait to go. Big shout out to Coach Chad Cheatham. And don't forget my Sounds of the Game. I'll have that up this week. And on Friday nights we did live updates. You know who helped me Friday night? RJ Casey. RJ did the live updates. It was great down there. He was doing live updates on there. But thanks very much. That is all I have from the Team FYN Sports Game of the Week. And again, GAC Lumpkin Friday night, and I just want to keep an eye on that region because of FYN. Hopefully, well, Lumpkin fans are not going to be happy because if they can beat Lumpkin and then Lumpkin fans want to beat them, it's a whole.
You're caught in the middle no matter what you do anyway. So I mean,
big shout out to Lumpkin Saturday. I announced your 6, 7, 8, and 9-year-old Saturday. Luther was on the camera. Josh was in the production room. You can find all those games, Gilmer 6, 7, 8, and 9-year-olds Mountain Football League on our YouTube channel, FYNTV, Fetcher News, and also on demand. We had a great time watching Lumpkin. Going to do it again Friday night. Thank you for the time, Dave. I appreciate you. I appreciate you letting me on here, man.
Hey, no problem, man.
All right, okay.
I like it, man.
All right, good. I like
Straight from BKP right here. Thanks, man. We'll see you Friday night. Again, BKP in here with our Team FYN Sports Game of the Week this week, GAC at Lumpkin. We'll take a break, come back. We'll switch gears, talk a little high school softball, volleyball, and some cross-country news to share for you, all that and much more. And, of course, later on, Luther will join me out here as we break down this week's high school football matchups. Stay with us. This week's edition of the Instant Replay rolls on in a couple.
You're going to remember this September because the model year-end savings are huge at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save over $6,000 off new 2018 Chevy Equinox, or save over $12,500 off new 2018 Silverado Crew Cab LT. Days has model year-end discounts on every Chevy, so the time to buy is now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, LJ, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
Back with more of the instant replay. We appreciate you guys being with us this morning. Again, our email is teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. Feel free to send us any sports-related information you have here in our local area. And as always, we are highlighting and promoting student-athletes in a positive way. We appreciate you guys being with us. The 22nd episode, as we said earlier, and a lot of things going on. And here we are. We find ourselves right in the middle of October, which means we are at the tail end of high school softball, volleyball, cross country is kind of getting into region mode. And, of course, the state meet typically the first week of November. That one's coming up on the horizon, so a lot of things going on. Now let's start on the high school softball diamond for just a moment. Dawson County, the Lady Tigers are at Calhoun on Wednesday of this week in round 1 of the state softball tournament. Now again, basically Dawson County, the lone representative from our viewing area, they will be going on, and we want to say congratulations first of all and good luck this week. The Lady Tigers have had a great run making it into the postseason, and again, as we mentioned, they will be at Calhoun on Wednesday, excuse me, at 5 p.m. And we look forward to seeing them in there as well. And Luther, I know obviously you know we had a lot of a good season overall for softball. Some of our teams just fallen a little bit short of getting kind of that next level, but we do have one representative in Dawson County who again has, like I said, has played well. You can kind of see this team coming together late in the season anyway, and here they are.
Right, they definitely have, and I tell you, the biggest blessing Dawson's got or has had this year probably would be Maggie Shandera coming back. She had some pretty serious knee surgery after an injury in basketball last year, I believe,
right.
And so she was, cleared to play, and she's a workhorse on that mound. She's an amazing young lady, an amazing pitcher, and she's been their blessing.
Right.
I'm not too familiar, with their entire program and what they have behind her, but seems like every story I've tried to do, a bit of the research and everything, Shandera's been on the mound and pitched exceptionally well all year. So I know they're glad to have her back this year, and I'm glad that she's back for them. And it's proven to be a blessing with them making it. They're going to have their hands full.
Right, yeah,
Calhoun.
No joke, yeah.
Just won their 7th in a row in region championship out of their area over there. Got to see them last year down at the state tournament. Had a couple girls, commit to Georgia Tech and some other big schools. They're athletes, winningest coach, close to one of the winningest coaches in Georgia. Leaves it out, and her name escapes my memory right now. But they're going to have their hands full. It's going to be a good game, and I wish them well. I wish them well. I would like to be able to have BKP send me down to Macon to, cover some games. I'm not saying he will, but if he's out there listening now that he's left the studio, BKP, if they make it, I'd like to go.
There we go. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We certainly wish the Lady Tigers all the best. Absolutely. Let's talk volleyball. Let's shift gears to Luther and talk top 4, basically. Let's just kind of run down the regions, kind of tell folks where they're at. We're getting to that point now where we're into that final, week or so. Standings going into the postseason. Top 4 out of each region. 7-4A, Blessed Trinity, Marist, White County, again in our area, and Chestatee. 7 AAA, North Hall, Dawson County 2nd, East Hall, Fannin County hanging on to 4th right now. Looking pretty good. Rabun County and 8 AA, Lake Oconee, Union County, again Lady Panthers in there along with Oglethorpe in the top 4. 6 3A, we've got Ringgold, Murray, and North Murray back to back on the high school volleyball court, and LFO. 6 4A, Northwest Heritage, Lafayette Southeast, your top 4. Gilmer and Pickens right now tie in the basement, trying to work their way out of it. Certainly got their work cut out. 1A Smoky Mountain Conference in North Carolina. How about those Lady Bulldogs of Murphy? Number 1 right now. Looks like they're headed to the postseason. Hayesville, Robbinsville, and Swain County, the top 4 there. And that's a look at your high school volleyball. Keep it right here. We will continue to update you on the progress of our local area teams as they go into the postseason. You can always log on to our Team FYN Sports Facebook page. You can certainly check out the articles from Luther and all of our contributors leaders, of course, at FetcherNews.com. And, of course, we go live on Facebook. We're on Instagram, Twitter, you name it. We got you covered right here. If it happens in North Georgia, we're all over it. That's our tagline. We'll save that for the end of the show. But, again, that's what it's all about. Luther's all over it. Team FYN Sports is all over it. We appreciate you guys being with us. Quickly, cross-country before we wrap up in this segment. It's been a great cross-country season. We're still trying to confirm Clear Creek Middle School's had a great run middle school-wise, but how about this past weekend? Gilmer High School down at Disney World. Wow. I mean, it wasn't that something. And they had some good showings as too. They didn't just show up and enjoy the sunshine and the pageantry of Disney. The Gilmer boys finished 13th overall as a team, and the Lady Cats of Gilmer finished 9th as a team. And how about Naomi Coombs, a great individual effort, 8th overall for the Lady Cats down at Disney World in a big meet down there that involved high schools from all over the place. And what a road trip for the Gilmer cross-country team. Man, those guys have done an excellent job. And how about Pickens? They are going to be hosting Saturday the Pickens and Grinnon. That's right, Pickens and Grinnon meet. It's been known in the past, I believe, as the Sharp Top Invitational, but this year it's Pickens. I think it's Pickens and a Grinnon, or maybe it's just Pickens and Grinnon. But Saturday down in Jasper, Pickens, and they've had a great year. A lot of good runners. They've been all over the place. They've been over to Berry College. They've been in Rome a couple of different times. So we're expecting to see some great individual and team efforts this weekend as well. And we will keep you updated. Pickens and a Grinnon. That's creative, man.
That is. That's pretty good. I don't think I could have come up with that. And I'm the most creative person I know.
Well, that says a lot. That says a lot about you, Luther, I guess. No. No, definitely a lot of fun, and we certainly wish all of our teams and runners all the best. Of course, looking forward to a great weekend there, and that's going to wrap it up for our third quarter segment right here on the Instant Replay. When we return, fourth and final quarter segment, and Luther will be out here as we break down this week's high school football matchups, all that and much more straight ahead. Stay with us. This week's edition of the Instant Replay rolls on in a minute. We'll be back.
You're going to remember this September because the model year-end savings are huge at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save over $6,000 off new 2018 Chevy Equinox, or save over $12,500 off new 2018 Silverado Crew Cab LT. Days has model year-end discounts on every Chevy, so the time to buy is now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
And we appreciate you being back with us right here on this week's edition of the Instant Replay. Got Luther out from behind the glass as we get set to talk about this week's high school football matchups briefly. But before we do that, we did mention up top today in the show that high school basketball schedules have been released. And Luther, we're just kind of on the horizon. I know we got plenty of high school football left. We've got all these fall sports, but we want to start kind of planting that seed, right, for winter. We've got wrestling. We've got basketball coming up. Gilmer will open up their season at home on November the 16th. Dawson hosts Flowery Branch. Several different games going on here. Lumpkin hosting Chestatee. So basically all of our teams, let's just put it that way to make it simple, in some way, shape, or form are going to be playing some games about a month from now, I guess. So
Gilmer has their purple-white scrimmage on the 3rd.
Yep.
So we're looking 2.5, 3 weeks.
I was going to say, yeah.
So
we're
and I mainly wanted to go ahead and bring it in today's show that hopefully with the mention of basketball,
right,
it would bring the temperatures down.
Yeah. Right.
And we could get, football obviously didn't do it.
Yeah, right.
So
maybe basketball can bring in some cooler weather. Of course, we'll be indoors by then anyway, but still, at least outside it'd be.
That's fine. It's still, we've got to have some cooler weather.
We do.
But it's coming. It's coming. We've got a cold front. I know sports show. I'm going to play meteorologist. It's
got the green screen technology here. We're going to utilize it. So if we just Josh, can you pop up a map real quick? No, I'm just kidding. But anyway.
But in all honesty, we do have cold front coming in. Weather for football is going to be changing subject off basketball real quick. It's going to be real good. Got the threat of the tropical storm coming through. Right after that's out, they're saying some of the mountain counties up where we are could be in the upper 40s.
Oh wow!
So that is coming.
See, you know how we are, people. We don't like it too cold. We like it just perfect. So we don't want it to get too cold. Just nice and cool. 60s, 50s, 60s.
It is time to see breath on a Friday night.
Yeah, there we go. It's getting to be. It's definitely getting to be that time.
Basketball, yes. Yeah. We've got a lot of basketball starting up about a month away. It's going to be in full swing with all of our local schools. Of course, North Carolina's kicking up as well.
Yep.
It's going to be exciting.
Practice.
Got a lot, several new coaches. Pickens County's got a new boys coach, and Coach Duffy this year. So over the next couple weeks with softball and volleyball kind of winding down into region, I'm hoping to have some coaches interviews from basketball so we can start getting you out, getting their faces out there so our viewers can see who they are.
Oh, perfect. Basketball practice opening up for all of our local area teams. Stay right here with us as we keep you in the loop. All right, Luther, let's talk some high school football. Who's where this Friday night? Gilmer at Heritage. The Bobcats still winless on the year, but taking on a Heritage team coming off of a 48-0 loss, of course, to Pickens, as we saw on Friday night. Be a tough road trip, obviously, for the Bobcats and really for the rest of the season. We'll see what happens there. And Pickens at Northwest Whitfield. Dragons against the Bruins, a team who has traditionally been a tough opponent for Pickens. The Dragons have never won more. They've never, as BKP said earlier, they've never been 8-0. They've never won more than 8 games in a season. Golden opportunity to go 8-0, get one more, and have what could potentially be the best season in Pickens history.
Right. Well, if they continue to play the way they are right now and continue to listen to Coach Parker and his staff, this is the old perfect game in baseball scenario, but these guys can run it.
Right, yeah.
These guys could run it. Their heads are on straight. They're focused on football. Coach Parker and his staff has got these guys firing forward.
Yeah.
When it comes to horse racing, they put the blinders on the horse, where they can't see what's around.
Right, exactly.
These guys have got those blinders on when it comes to Friday night.
Right.
And they've got a very good chance. And Northwest Whitfield is a tough team, proved to be a tough
Always
opponent
has been,
in the past.
They're stout,
They're going to come in fired up because every team that's the underdog wants to come in and knock the big dog off the top of the house and take control of it.
Yep.
And Northwest Whitfield's coming in. They're going to come in on fire. But I believe the Dragons will be ready and get another big win.
Yeah,
it's going to be a historical night if they do. 8-0, as you said, they've never been.
Right.
Never had that experience.
And just one of a couple of road games, too, for the Dragons really this year. But that's going to be a tough environment on Friday night, certainly. White County at West Hall. Intriguing matchup there. The Warriors have struggled, but they played some tough teams along the way. They're a little bit better, I think, than their 1-5 record indicates. And Lumpkin hosting GAC as part of our Team FYN Sports Game of the Week. BKP said it. He wants to see this Lumpkin team. Obviously, GAC is a tough opponent, but really it's more long-term looking down the road for Lumpkin. what they might do against Fannin and so forth. A couple of interesting matchups there in North Georgia.
It is, and the White County West Hall game sticks out. Both teams are down a little bit this year. Of course, Coach Lottie that used to coach West Hall has moved on and doing very well with his new school down toward the Atlanta area. I forget the school he went to. I apologize for that. That's going to be a good ball game. You're going to have two struggling teams that are going out there giving everything they've got, both with new coaches.
Right.
Now, the White County coach last year was his first year, so he's in his second year. But it's going to be a good ball game. They're striving and tasting a victory to get back on track and just really get back to the way White County used to be. West Hall has struggled several years, had a few years under Coach Lottie, but they fought back, and I do not know their coach's name at this point either. My mind, when you get old, they say the first thing that goes to memory. I'm experiencing that, guys. But in all honesty, that's going to be a great ball game. Lumpkin GAC. Lumpkin, as Coach Harrison over there, Williamson has said over there that he's going to run the ball.
Yeah.
GAC's got a big defensive front. It's going to be a tough ball game. He may have to break out, the old arm there and get a little action because they've got a quarterback that can do it.
Right.
But they're just set up for the run. That's going to be a good ball game. I'm sorry, Lumpkin Indians. I hate to say this, but I believe GAC's going to come out top with a big win on that one. That one's going to be a really high-scoring affair for GAC. It's my thoughts.
Yep, Lumpkin may be motivated though at home again. I'm sure they will be motivated, no doubt about that. So maybe they'll give GAC a ball game right there. How about Towns County hosting Commerce? Commerce comes into this game at 6-0. Certainly a tough matchup for Towns. North Murray hosting Haralson County. How about the Mountaineers? As we said, 5-2 overall, 4-1 in the region, hosting a Haralson County team that's 5-0, 3-0. This is really a big ball game.
It is. It's going to be. That one's going to come down to the end. It's going to be kind of like, the Lafayette game.
Right.
It's going to be close. It's going to be, I don't know about high scoring. Defense is going to have to step up. To use BK's words, we need to see the defense.
Yeah.
And Northwest Whitfield's shown it a few times this year, but they're really getting into their strong part of their region play as well. And Haralson County, the record shows they're a great ball team.
Yeah, be a lot of fun. Murray County, meanwhile, winless on the year, going up against Calhoun, who is unbeaten. Obviously, you look at that on paper and you think, okay, an easy win for Calhoun, but they don't play them on paper. So we'll see what happens on Friday night. Murray, again, having to make that trip over to a Yellow Jacket country on Friday. And how about Dawson at Fannin, Union hosting Banks. Those are an intriguing pair of matchups right there. Again, Union, as we know, 6-0, and Coach Allison, Monday night, talk. It's going to be interesting talking to him a little bit. Banks County at 3-3. The Leopards, though, out of Homer, Georgia, are hot and cold, but they're certainly a team that can come in and make some noise. So Union County unbeaten, and then we all know about Dawson, how good they are. Suffered their first loss on Friday night to a GAC, but just by 3 points. Dawson at Fannin. The Rebels again at 3-3, 2-0 in the region, though. That really now turns into a big ball game in region play.
It does, and as BKP said, sitting there 2-0 in the region for Fannin, hadn't won 2 games in the region several years. This is probably their toughest matchup of the year as far as head-to-head numbers.
Right, especially to this point.
At this point, they're going to have some more as the season progresses, of course. But this is a battle of 2 great coaches. Even though Coach Cheatham's in his first year, the man can coach some football. Of course, Sid Maxwell over at Dawson, many more years of experience than most coaches we have in our coverage area. It's going to be a head-to-head, tough-fought ball game for both of them. The battle, this game may come down to turnovers. Who can hold on to the ball, and possibly who makes the last score. Who can score last.
Yep, should be a great matchup.
Quick note on Union County: they had a bye week last week, so there will be no show. But we will be airing a previous show, to the best of my knowledge.
There we go. So next Monday night we'll go live on Facebook with Coach Allison and the Panthers there.
So we will not have any updates from Union's last week's game, of course, because they didn't have one. But as far as interviews, rather.
And let's talk about that series real quick too, because as we get through these matchups here, Murphy as well playing at Hayesville. The Bulldogs, again, 5-1 on the year, going up against the Hayesville team that's just 1-5. Hopefully the Bulldogs will be able to take care of business on Friday night. You talk about Coach Gentry and all the history there, and those guys, again, are having another amazing season.
They are, and he's if with a win Friday night, he's sitting at 399.
All right,
so,
wow. There's not a lot of active coaches probably in the country that have that many that are still coaching. You know what I mean?
And he's a lot like Coach Cheatham. He's not as vibrant and
animated,
animated is the word I was looking for. He's not there, but I can tell you his enthusiasm, his love for
he'll
the
get
game.
Fired up.
He's just oh man, he's amazing. And Hayesville's normally considered to be a big rivalry game for them.
Right. Yeah.
So you can't take the Hayesville record and look at it and say, well, it's going to be a loss.
And it's one of those things where ball in that area, when you're looking at Eastern Tennessee, Western Carolina, you have a team that's 1-9 one year, the next year they're 9-1.
Exactly.
I mean, the dynamics of those teams, especially the smaller, single A, double A type programs, can change. Well, really at any level, but especially at that level, it seems like more and more. I mean, you can go from being a 5-5 team one year to being a state champion the next, just because of how the dynamics of the teams work with the number of players you have.
And to just put a point of emphasis on how well Coach Gentry's doing with the Bulldogs, their roster is almost half of what it was in previous years.
Right.
So they have, there's several guys and girls that are not playing.
Right.
So their roster is way smaller than what it used to be.
Right.
So they're doing this with less students.
Yeah. And they've been able to maintain that level.
So that shows the level of, just football.
That's awesome.
And I will put this out that I didn't put up last week after my interview with him. Coach Gentry and his coaching staff is looking forward to getting some of our coverage area.
Right.
Other schools, Union, Fannin, Gilmer, back on their schedule for non-conference games. They said they played several times in the past, but over the last few years, nobody will play them.
Right, yeah, I was going to say.
Coaches, Coach Wingard, Coach Cheatham, get ready to make
Give Murphy a shot.
Yeah,
give Murphy a shot.
Non-conference game, have them come over here. They said they'd be glad to do it. They'll go over there. Just want to put that out there. He asked me if I could get these coaches that I talk to on a regular basis to play them. So
there you go.
I'm trying, Coach. If you're watching or anybody from Murphy's watching, tell Coach Gentry I'm trying.
There we go. Good stuff. Again, the coaches shows right here, a full lineup all week long. As Luther said, no live Union County show on Monday night, October the 8th. If you're watching on Monday, again, this show does air through the week, but live on Monday. But we will have a Dragon Talk Tuesday night with Coach Chris Parker at 7 p.m. and the cast of characters with the Dragons that we've met with all year long. Wednesday night, Fannin County, the Rebel Show. BKP always does a great job with that one at 7 p.m. And then Thursday night, it is Bobcat Turf Talk with Coach Wingard and all those guys as well. A lot of personality on these teams. It's always a lot of fun. You're behind the scenes at all these shows. I mean, Luther's the one having to work all of them here as we get ready to sign off. But, it's neat, watching these kids come in, get that experience of being in front of the camera, get to throw a few comments out there. I mean, it's always a good time.
It's really good to hear the coaches talk about their players and where they've come from to where they are now. And at the same time, the most important part of that is talk about how level-headed these guys are as people, as humans, and how they help with off the field stuff,
right?
And every one of our coaches in our area, and most, I'd say probably 99% of high school coaches across the United States, they want to instill that in them as well. Not just I want you to be a good football player, but I want you to be a good person.
Right. Yeah.
And everyone we've had on the shows this year and will continue to have this year are just great young athletes, great young men, great young women. As on Fannin County, we had their kicker on the other night, her first appearance on the show. Yep. BKP was saying that he better watch out for his job. She was that well spoken. Former soccer player, had knee surgery, couldn't play travel soccer anymore. She missed the team atmosphere. Yeah. And she wanted to do it. She came out, and right now she just, kicks extra points and field goals and things of that nature. But the skip step, do you know what the skip step is?
No, not really sure.
None of us knew what the skip step was. This young lady did. I wish I could remember her name, but the skip step is that last little step before you do the actual kickoff.
Right, yeah.
So you can get your leg into it and get the distance you need on a kickoff.
Cool.
So I learned something.
You learned something.
I learned something in the Fannin show the other night that I was just sitting back like, dumbfounded almost.
Yeah, right.
We're all looking like, what did she just
What's
say?
that?
What was that? So, Coach Cheatham even said, I didn't even know what a skip set was.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing time. Those shows are fun. I am behind the computer running the soundboard and camera and all that for those, and it's just really awesome to be a part of it. And I thank BKP for allowing me the opportunity.
Here we go. Sounds good. We're out of time this week. We'll see you next week, though. Again, with more show as we break down this week's high school football matchups for you next Monday right here on the Instant Replay. Because if it happens in North Georgia, we're all over it. We'll see you next week.